Hey everyone, it's Colleen again, the Preparedness Pro. We are back with Glenn Jakins of Humbless.com. Humbless, we love Humbless. We love Humbless in this household, I got to tell you. So, what happened is the last time we were doing an interview with Glenn, of all things, here we are talking about solar generators and whole house systems, and my power goes off just as Glenn is answering a question. So we're going to pick up, and I'm going to edit this in audio later on, but we're going to pick up where we left off. And I'm going to start off by asking Glenn the question that we left off with. So, Glenn, what do you have to say to those people who say, I can just build my own solar generator and I'll be just fine and dandy, as opposed to using a humbless system?
Well, first of all, Colleen, good to be back, but you need a system.
Yeah.
Point proven. And anyway, I think you haven't had one for 3 or 4 years, and then you had a power outage right while we were having our interview, which is quite funny.
Yep.
So, Colleen, there's a lot of things to building an energy storage system. I'm going to start with the one that we all hate, and that is the government. The government gets involved in everything, but in certain situations, it's good that they get involved. Because, for instance, if you built an energy storage system that did not conform to any of the electrical code, well, then we've got a few issues. We might have fire issues. We might have backfeeding back to the grid. If you're selling back to the grid and you've got a system that's not California Rule 21 compliant, well, then it might send power back to the grid and it might kill somebody. They might be working on the grid thinking that it's off, and you go back and send power and kill them. So there's government regulations for very good reason. And if you're going to build your own system, if you don't conform to those government regulations, that's a big problem. There's UL listings, underwriter laboratory, things that we have to conform to. The batteries have to conform to UL listings. The inverter has to conform to that. The system together has to conform to that as well. So it's a much bigger thing than you might think, just throwing a few batteries and an inverter together. So again, reliability is the thing that we're looking for over the long term, because that's how you really make money, is when something lasts a long time and produces results for you over a long period of time. And so if you want to build your own system, yes, certainly you can do that. We have a lot of do-it-yourselfers that actually buy our batteries from us because they are so reliable. We make a lithium iron phosphate battery that has a 10-year warranty. And so, they can take our batteries and they can connect them to inverters. Our inverters, we have UL listed with our inverter and our battery, and then we also UL list our battery with other inverters in case other people wanted to use other inverters as well. So we always recommend, if you have it done with an electrician that's licensed and that knows what he's doing, because if you do something wrong and you put a wire the wrong way or something and it causes a fire, there's a lot of risk involved in life and in property. So I just think it's a good idea to use somebody that's already gone down the road, that's produced results and knows what they're doing. We certainly believe that we're one of those people.
Well, and the engineering that you've put into the project, it's so intelligent. It's so well thought out, if you don't mind my saying so. Different than anything else out on the market, which is one of the reasons why I'm a humbless household.
Yeah.
Got to get my whole house unit though.
Yeah, you've got portable units that'll back you up in emergencies, and that's great. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we focus now on whole home systems for emergency backup, or just if you want to be off grid as well.
So. Yeah, definitely. Well, let me ask you this: what's the most rewarding aspect of having your company?
I'm very passionate about alternative energy. I started back in 2008, as mentioned, developing the first off-grid solar generator, as we call it. And so when I had a lady come, she came by about 2 weeks ago. She bought a system from me 14 years ago. Now, in the first days, that was the very first lithium iron phosphate battery used in a solar generator around 2010, 2011. She came and said, hey, I've had this for about 14 years. It's not working anymore. Can you take a look? And I said, boy, we don't even make batteries for this. Let me see if I can get it running again for you. I connected a little solar panel to it. Man, that thing just fired right up and it's working perfectly. I called her and I said, come on, pick it up. She was so thrilled that this was still working after 14 years. Will still run her refrigerator, whatever she needs in an emergency. So that for me was a rewarding thing. When there's power outages, I think I mentioned this in the beginning, when people just have solar and no battery backup, when the power goes out, their solar panels don't work anymore.
Right.
So for us, it's fulfilling when somebody calls and said, you know what, you told us it wouldn't work. We listened to you. We got a system. All our neighbors didn't have any power and we had power and we felt safe and secure. So thank you very much. My wife's medication was able to be preserved, over the 2 days that we didn't have power. And so we just want to say thank you to you. And that to me is the reward when we see actual customers benefiting from all the work that we've put into this.
I would imagine being in your shoes that would be very rewarding because, for some people it's a difference between life and death, and that's pretty sobering. And so to know that you've created a product that is hardened the way that it is and reliable, you should be very proud, Glenn.
Thank you. Colleen, we've known each other for right in the beginning of Humbless. You saw the light.
So it's about 24, 25 years. No, yeah. I'm just kidding.
No, it's been 13, 14 years that we've known each other, and you sold a lot of our original products that we made, which were the portable solar generators. So thank you very much. You've been in this business for longer than about anybody I know in helping people to be prepared. So we appreciate you believing in our product as well.
Oh, well, thank you. It's my pleasure. So let me ask you a couple more questions here. What advice would you give to preppers looking to integrate solar power into their long-term preparedness plans?
Well, first of all, do your homework. Don't just dive in and do it. And I would say the first guy that comes knocking on your door to sell you a system, I would look at lots of options before I dived into it. So do your homework and look at all the different options. Look at all the government rebates and credits that you can get, because there's a lot of them out there. Get all that lined up. Speak to your accountants and find out what you can get from the government, because there's a lot of it out there and it makes it very attractive when you start. They would then look at technologies and go, okay, what's a new technology? Is it too expensive? What's a technology that's kind of in the bell curve where the price is reasonable and the technology works well? And look at what your best bang for your buck is on that. And then you don't have to start big. You don't have to have a huge system that solves everything. You can start small. On our systems, we encourage that. If you want to get couple of batteries and one inverter, that's fine, and that's good for an emergency backup. But if you wanted to have a little bit of a bigger system, then our system is stackable. You can just add more batteries, you can add more inverters as well. So for people starting up, do your homework, look at all the credits that you can get, and look for the best bang for your buck. I would, another thing that I may have mentioned, I can't remember if I did on the first call, Colleen, but one of the pitfalls is financing. Did we speak about that at all?
Yeah, we did. We talked about the dealer fees. Yeah.
Yeah, the dealer fees are 40%. That is too much. And so try and see if you can find a way that you can finance it through a credit union or something like that. Because if you are getting it through these door-to-door guys, their dealer fees are just exorbitant. So, yeah. And then I don't know if it's that wise to try and do it yourself, unless you really are a good electrician and know what you're doing. But I would certainly find the right company that would that's got a good track record that can help you connect this and put it together for you.
Well, you are the original, and
Well, look,
I think it makes
again,
sense to go with you.
we are an equipment manufacturer, and so we sell equipment to the installers. So we're not an installation company, but we can certainly help anybody that's looking for companies. We work with installation companies in every state in the country. So
And you can help people out in that regard. If somebody does contact you and loves your system, then you can help them get in touch with an installation company.
that's right.
Okay. All right. So I just have one last question for you, Glenn. And this is a question that I ask all my guests. If in the world of preparedness, if you could get preppers to understand one bit of wisdom that you would have to impart, what would that wisdom be?
I don't know if I said this, but this is something I live by. It's the 5 Ps. Did I share the 5 Ps with you?
Yes, let's repeat them though.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And if we prepare ourselves properly, we will suffer less and we'll be, be able to perform much better. So preparation, my mother, when I was a boy, and I can't remember the interview, but I may have shared this with you. When I was a young teenager, my mother kind of printed she'd silk screen these t-shirts with fun things on the shirts. She made a shirt that I used to wear for PE at school, and it said, "It wasn't raining when Noah built the ark." And I love that saying, because if you're trying to build an ark while it's pouring with rain, it's too late. If you want to prepare well, proper preparation, it takes time, and you don't have to start big. I when I try and help my friends to become better prepared, I encourage them to start small. If you're going to prepare with food storage or things like that, you don't need to go buy 500 rolls of toilet paper. You can go buy 2 extra packs a week and stack it up, and so you're not spending all your money all at once. You can start slowly, but it will build up and you will see the results. But you got to keep working and you got to be consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely wise words. Well, Glenn, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure knowing you all these years. It's been a pleasure to talk to people about Humless and know that it's not going to let them down. And I just wanted to give them some insight into the brains behind and the philosophy behind the Humless reliable power system. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. And I'll put in a little sales pitch for us. We are running a wonderful special around through Thanksgiving, through Christmas. So if anybody's interested, they can contact you and we will take care of them very, very well if they want to get started on something.
I have no doubt. That's humless.com, folks. All right. Thank you so much, Glenn. We will talk to you soon.
Thanks again. See you, Colleen.